Hello my friends, and welcome back to the rabbit hole. Today's video is going to be all about what worked and what didn't work for my hyperpigmentation. You know the drill, we have timestamps and links in the description box below as always, but I have to tell you all, this is a tricky topic and there's quite a few things I want to say in the intro of today's video before we go any further. First of all, listen, hyperpigmentation, I truly believe this is one of the most difficult issues to address in all of skincare. And the reason for this is that there's different kinds of hyperpigmentation. It makes a difference to talk about how long a spot has been on your skin. It is worlds easier to treat a spot that hasn't been there that long versus a spot that has been there for years and years. Secondly, what is the point of talking about treating hyperpigmentation if people are not wearing sunscreen? Sunscreen is so important. A lot of hyperpigmentation does come from sun damage, so if you are trying to treat it and not using sunscreen, you're basically canceling out the effect. And finally, today's video is not going to be an exhaustive list. It is going to be based off of my own experiences, and this is because I'm not a dermatologist, nor am I your dermatologist. I feel this is a topic that is best for me to talk about from my own perspective. I do always welcome feedback. If you have other thoughts, other experiences, feel free to share them in the comment section below. And one more thing, today's video is sponsored in part by Cure, still one of my favorite device companies. We'll be talking about them shortly. So to start off this list, let's talk about one thing that worked for me as somebody with dry, acne-prone skin. That is prevention. Getting my acne under control so that I have less spots that could potentially linger on my skin has helped so much. And mainly for me, you know I use adapalene. It has been the #1 ingredient that has helped my skin. That's an ingredient I talk about all the time. Now I will say I do still have acne, especially around a certain time of the month. I tend to break out right around where men grow beards. Yes, I have hormonal acne, but I've minimized it. I think that this is one of the aspects of skincare that is sometimes lost on the internet. A realistic approach to treating acne is getting 3 breakouts in a month instead of 50 breakouts in a month. No, my skin is not perfectly clear, but it is much more manageable. And along with this, one of the most helpful things I ever found for preventing hyperpigmentation is hydrocolloid patches. See, by putting a hydrocolloid on top of an active breakout, it keeps the skin moist, and that is a lot of what allows your skin to heal under it. And there are a lot of hydrocolloid patches on the market to choose from. I generally find most of them are pretty similar. I do prefer the type that are a little bit more thick. AliceintheRabbitHole makes some of my favorites here, and I also do like some of the thinner ones for during the day. And my current favorite thinner patches are by Petite Fay. These also have some Cica actives in them to help further the healing process. Both are wonderful options, but frankly, any hydrocolloid patch will help. #2 on my what worked in our first real treatment is microneedling. I have a bit of a confession here. This is the topic that I think I'm closest to gatekeeping on my channel, and it's simply because it's hard to talk about. This is not a subject matter that I can just talk about in passing because it is a topic that involves risk. But there's one company I've seen do the best with this topic, the best way of minimizing risk, and it is none other than our sponsor, Cure. This is the Cure Microinfusion System, and what they got right here is this is a disposable system. And I'm just being consistent with the way my brain works here. I'm saying you can't treat hyperpigmentation without wearing sunscreen. You can't treat acne if you're picking at it. You can't microneedle if you are introducing bacteria. That's my problem with using a derma roller. People talk about sanitizing it, but you can never sterilize it, which means you could be introducing bacteria, which could really go wrong. So this idea of these disposable reusable heads, just by far the best system out there. Now I want to show you how this works before I talk about the results. Again, it is very important to make sure that you clean your skin thoroughly before you use this. I'm showing the option with 6 treatments here. They have both EGF serums as well as beta-glucan serums, and what you do is you choose your serum, fill up the bottle itself, and then tip it over because you want to make sure that those serums are absorbing into the tip. Then all you do is press this across your skin. I will tell you, and you'll see in this clip, that my skin does turn a little red. Cure's needles are 0.5 millimeters. I kind of gatekeep this topic, so I've actually tried 1 millimeter, and that was too much for my skin. This to me is the right level. I turn red, but I don't get irritated. I am very cautious about what I put on top of this. I like to use, in particular, a moisturizer that doesn't come in a jar. Not because I think that is a necessarily terrible system, but just as an added precaution. And in terms of results, this Cure system has been the best for results for me. You can see the results even the next morning, but it is shocking how good my skin looks, especially 2 days after using this system. And I've explained this before, but to quickly recap, it's theorized that the reason this works is because you are using controlled damage to your skin. You are making your skin think, oh my gosh, we just got attacked by tons of needles. Send all of the repair to the skin. Except that damage was done under controlled conditions. It doesn't actually leave any kind of harmful impact on your skin when done correctly. So instead, it's that your skin is sending your own repair mechanisms to do all this work that doesn't actually need to be done. It's such a neat mechanism, right? In addition, this is much more cost-effective compared to in-office treatments. Just again, always make sure that you are taking all of the precautions. And one more note about Cure, I do like that this is a bi-weekly system. Again, I've already mentioned adapalene in this video, so I do use adapalene. That is a bit of a harsh treatment, and I find I do need to stop using that a few days before I do this system. Number 2 on my list of things that worked is high-strength AHA. I almost hate to tell you the specific product because the brand that I used has now become a bit controversial. I'll say it because I've said it before. The first product that I ever saw incredible results from in terms of hyperpigmentation was TLC Framboos from Drunk Elephant. Now listen, I don't think you need to buy this specific product. It is quite expensive for what it is in a world where we actually have some good competition. In fact, the product I have right now is the PSA Goals Serum. But I want to make sure to explain this a little more. It's not just about it being a high AHA serum. It specifically is about being a product that contains a good level, a good percentage of glycolic acid. There's a lot of research into glycolic acid for different forms of hyperpigmentation, and we believe that it works so effectively because this specific AHA is a lot smaller than some of your other options. So different forms of AHA are able to travel to different levels of your skin based on their molecular size. Since glycolic acid is so small, it can really penetrate deep into your skin and help to address hyperpigmentation that has been lingering a bit longer. Now, all that said, keep in mind that this is still going to be a treatment where you're not going to see results immediately. I would say if you buy one of these high-strength glycolic acid products, make sure that you finish the bottle before you form an opinion on it. I will also readily tell you, I don't really use these types of products too much anymore. Alright, I have until January 7th before this one expires. I don't know if I'm going to finish it. And this is because, as I already mentioned now twice in this video, I do use a strong retinoid, adapalene. For me, combining a strong AHA with a retinoid, ooh, that would not go well. And I suspect that's going to be true for most people, so for me, I have to really space out my treatments of this, which just means I don't use them as much anymore as my other options here. So it's a bit of a conundrum because I very much believe in this category, but as somebody with more sensitivities, with acne, it is hard for me to use this personally, which is why I'm still going to have a third product here. But nonetheless, I very much believe in this. I think this is one of the best options for hyperpigmentation that you can find at a wide range of price points. And number 3 on my list of what worked for me, yes, it's SK-II. I know this one is expensive, so I will explain it. It's always hard to talk about this because it is such a pricey product, but it's one where I really believe in it and I really saw the results for myself. I just think, not unlike talking about microneedling, it requires an explanation every time. SK-II is a product that is so simple in terms of its ingredients list. It's something where you see a lot of people talk about how dupeable that is. And yet, SK-II owns the patent on Pitera, so I do believe that their galactomyces ferment filtrate is different from other galactomyces ferment filtrate options, and whatever it is that makes this different makes it that much more effective, specifically for me, in terms of hyperpigmentation. It's a wild thought because this isn't a product that contains any active. And yet, in the course of using this for 5 weeks up against one of the dupes, I could not believe how much more I saw for results for hyperpigmentation. This evened my skin tone, it brightened my skin, it faded my spots. I truly couldn't believe that a product that is not active could do this much. And that's the appeal of this product. Throughout this video, I have been telling you about the retinoid that I use, which again is not the easiest skincare ingredient to use. I highly recommend a retinoid. Please don't get me wrong. One of the best things you can do for your skin after sunscreen, but they can be drying, they can be harsh on your skin. And that's again the reason why I had to reduce other actives in my routine, which is why I love SK-II so much. I've never seen another ingredient give me this kind of results that didn't also have a list of drawbacks. It's so expensive. I wish it wasn't. It's so expensive. Shop the K-beauty retailers for this. That's where I bought my most recent bottle. I definitely think they have better prices versus our American retailers. But it still is expensive, and I don't ever want to make it sound like this is your only option, because it's not. It's certainly not. So what it is with SK-II is I think you're kind of paying for the ease of this product. You're paying for the research that went into it to figure out how to make Pitera special from other galactomyces ferment filtrates, and you're paying for ease. And not everyone can pay for this, so I'm grateful that there are other options. All that said, this is one of very few pricier splurges where I not only believe in it, I really understand why some people swear by this. You know, because I do too. Now to chat a bit about what didn't work for me, and again, this is only my experience, plant extracts alone. Don't get me wrong, I love plant extracts, but I don't think that on their own, most of them are going to deliver great results for hyperpigmentation. Let me explain why you all know I love this topic. So, anytime we are talking about a plant, a fruit, a vegetable, they all are not just that plant. They are made up of things, and we intuitively know this. Every time you hear someone say, oh, bananas have potassium, oranges have vitamin C, we are acknowledging this. And we typically refer to those as constituents, all the parts that make up a plant. Now, a good example of a plant that has brightening capacity is ginseng. And we believe that it is the ginsenosides within ginseng that are responsible for this brightening effect. We also know that when you take ginseng and you age it over time, you have a greater concentration of those ginsenosides. We know this, but not every company is necessarily super transparent about the quality or the age of their ginseng. So I'm so sorry. I love you dearly, Beauty of Joseon, but your ginseng essence water is too good of an example for this conversation. It's too good of an example. I liked this product. Do not get me wrong. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice hydrating product, but I didn't think that it did much for fighting hyperpigmentation. I have seen results from ginseng where the companies are more transparent about the age and quality of their ginseng, but not only that, they also tend to add in some of those ginsenosides at standardized amounts, thus giving a lot more control over the product in the end. We can also talk about vitamin C here. You see a lot of these more natural companies talk about using natural vitamin C in their products in an extract. And like I just said, oranges have vitamin C, but when you talk about orange extract, well, how much vitamin C is in that extract? And my friends, that brings us to the end of this video. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you have tried, what has worked for you, what hasn't worked for you. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time.